I have the opportunity to discuss, and you have the opportunity to listen, and we all come here, assemble. That is the biggest grace we have, isn't it? So, we salute to Lord Krishna for having given us this opportunity, and with that, we begin. Once again, welcome all of you. We were in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, the background is, the setting is, for some of you, Shubha has joined recently. She was there earlier also, but she has rejoined. Bhagavad Gita is the uh, teaching of Lord Sri Krishna given to Arjuna. Arjuna is a great warrior of Mahabharata, and being a great warrior, highly meritorious, with great courage, great strength, born to Indra himself. He is son of Indra actually. Kunti conceives Arjuna with the blessings of Indra. So he is uncomparable to any of these people at that time. In spite of that, he goes into a state of depression, anxiety, and lot of stress that becomes very evident, and he is unable to hold even his bow and arrow. So at that point of time, Krishna, who is there with him, and he has been with him all throughout his school days, Gurukul days, and as an advisor all through. So now he has come there as Sarathi. Sarathi is a charioteer, literal meaning, who runs that chariot through which Arjuna is getting on the battlefield. So he comes there not only as the physical charioteer, but he stands with Arjuna as a solid rock who actually inspires him, motivates him, guides him in the right direction, and convinces him to fight the battle, because Arjuna had prepared to run away, to go back, because he finds that this yuddha, this battle, is not going to do any good to him or to his relatives, and it's a waste of time, and it's going to bring lot of sin, and we are going to set wrong precedents, and we are not going to be good role models. All that he narrates, but Krishna convinces him, and through Bhagavad Gita, Krishna convinces Arjuna to fight, not only to fight, but he changes his overall personality, and he brings a total change in his perspective towards life. And this Bhagavad Gita has been is meant for each one of us who is on this planet, to guide us on our day-to-day activities, so that we achieve what we are meant to achieve. Our objective of getting this human birth is to use our intelligence, use our intellect, and control the mind, and lead a controlled life, and enjoy to its fullest extent in the real way. The happiness or the pleasures that we are talking about is not the real pleasure. There's much more beyond that, and there's a different way of approaching life. Life should be taken much more seriously than what we have been doing so far. That is the whole message of Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna tries to bring this through his discourse, not discourse actually, his words on the battlefield. And this has been observed by Sanjaya. Sanjaya is a courtier in the court of Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is the chief of Kauravas. He was actually heading the kingdom, so he cannot see, and Dhritarashtra is getting to know about all this through Sanjaya, who sits beside him, but who has been given the divine vision by sage Vedavyasa. Sage Vedavyasa is the writer of Mahabharata. Mahabharata describes the entire proceedings, of which Bhagavad Gita is one aspect, what happens on the battlefield. So therefore, we bow down before that great Guru Vedavyasa, who has documented the entire thing, and this is going as a narration. Sanjay is narrating to Dhritarashtra whatever is the proceeding on the battlefield. So through him we have come to know, through Vedavyasa we have come to know. Vedavyasa has dictated, they say Lord Ganesha has written, so we bow down before all of them, and then we commence this. So in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Always the wisdom within any human being starts after a deep blow, or when the mind starts reflecting, following any kind of things which don't go our way. they don't go our way. We say we are curious to understand Bhagavad Gita, we want to know about that, but nothing is possible without some provocation. Something, some incident in our life would have provoked us to go beyond this routine, the mundane things, and then go deeper and understand that there is something, so there may be some different meaning to this life which I am leading. So if we get this wisdom, instead of going to a counselor is okay, but getting into antidepressant drugs, anti-anxiety drugs, or continuously enjoying with movies or whatever worldly things, instead of that, if a person starts going within and reflecting and starts understanding, then that would be a major change in his life. And definitely I'm sure all of you, as you mentioned in your feedback, I understand we all have thought that this is definitely a fascinating way of life, understanding Gita and trying to implement as much as possible. So with that background, we now commence the second chapter, verse from 61. So first chapter was Vishada Yoga. As I said, Arjuna goes into depression and he wants to run away, as most of us do. I just cannot handle it. We are unable to handle. We are not emotionally capable. We have not been conditioned on how to handle. There has been no training so far. So similarly, Arjuna also did not have a training to face such a crisis where he has to kill his own people, his own uncle, aunts, cousins with whom he has been brought up. So that was a difficult thing for him, and similarly, so therefore he expresses that. And Krishna, starting from chapter 2, he says that Arjuna, you have to understand the life and your existence and who you are basically, so that you understand who are all these people who are around you. Then you would not hesitate taking this step or killing those people. You would not feel that it is a sin to kill your own people. For that he goes and explains about, this is second chapter, it's called Sankhya Yoga, the yoga of knowledge or yoga of analytical knowledge, you can say. So there Krishna makes him understand, and then he says that you and I and all these people, we are all there eternally. From the time of creation we are there, but we did not exist in the same body, we existed in some other body. And the purpose of my creation was to bring about an understanding in humans. With every birth, the person is born with a purpose. I mean, he is created, the human beings are created with a purpose that they will use their intellect and try to evolve and get liberated from what? From the sufferings, from the miseries, and ultimately from the cycle of birth and death. This is a very, very deep explanation which he gives right in the beginning. So he says that you are born here with this purpose, and we are all manifestation of Atma. We are manifestation of something which is much more above this body, mind, intelligence. It's beyond that. That you should understand. And that same being is present in everyone. But why there is a difference in person to person's thoughts and behavior, personalities? Because each one has made a choice. We make our choice to improve, to go in the right direction. Somebody makes a choice to go in the wrong direction. So as they keep making those choices, then their personalities become diverted into those areas. So therefore all the people can be divided into sattvic, rajasic and tamasic personalities. So depending on how they cultivate those habits, because that gets imprinted in their subconscious mind, and that decides their tendency towards life. Like Duryodhana knew that he is doing adharma. He knew that it's not right, but he says, there is a shloka in Mahabharata, he says, I just cannot control myself. I just cannot control. One second. So I just cannot control myself into doing wrong things. That is how I am conditioned. I know everything. Whereas Arjuna always feels like doing the right thing. Yudhishthira always wants to tell truth. He's called Dharma Raja because he's an epitome of righteousness. So like that we have different personalities, and if you read Bhagavad Gita, you will come to know that all kinds of people are there, and different characters. If you read more, there are a lot of books written. So that way, so Krishna tells him that this is a Dharma Yuddha, and in this birth we are all like this, and in this situation they have committed, we have done enough effort, and now it is a time to fight, and therefore we have come on the battlefield. And now you understand, you are neither going to kill him nor anybody else, nor you are going to die, because this body is temporary. What remains permanently is the Atma. Whatever we have gained in this life, that karma gets carried to the another karma, and whatever we are now is the consequence or the follow through of the previous janma. So every Atma keeps on going. Atma is one, but along with that there is something called subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, and Karya Karana Sharira. That baggage, no, that leaves this body, and it keeps hopping from one janma to another janma. This goes on happening continuously for several millions of years, until the person understands, gets the wisdom, and then realizes that it is not this body, it is not this mind, it's not the intellect. I am pure consciousness. I am Sat Chit Ananda. Actually, my identity is not this body, this mind. My identity is pure consciousness. That is Parabrahma. That is Krishna, or whatever, the creator. So simply I am ignorant. As long as we are in this ignorance, we try to identify ourselves with so many people, make our mind complicated and get affected, we react. All that keeps happening until and unless we don't realize. So through Bhagavad Gita we get this knowledge, but after that knowledge one has to experience it. And now Arjuna also, even in till his death, he doesn't become a realized soul, but he is given that knowledge. And beautifully in this avatara, Krishna avatara, no, Bhagavata says Dashavatara, in that avatara, this was one of his mission, Krishna's mission, that through Bhagavad Gita, through Mahabharata, through Kurukshetra, he wants to bring a great message to the generations that follow in this Kali Yuga. That happened in another yuga called Dwapara Yuga. There are 4 yugas and they keep happening in cycles. So he said, now Kali Yuga, people are going to suffer. Let me bring some guidelines, some suggestions or some guidance through which they can evolve themselves. They will come to know what actually they are expected to do to get this liberation. So with that, he guides him step by step. He talks about this Atma, Atmana Swarupa. It's called Sankhya philosophy. He talks about who we are, what is this body. I have not gone too much in depth. Actually, there's much more. Swami Vivekananda says, before understanding any science, first understand your body and who you are. Before going to who you are, if you understand the construction of our body as per given in our Vedic scriptures, it's very, very fascinating. So we'll discuss that in some other context. But right now, having spoken about, then he talks about Karma Yoga, Buddhi Yoga. He says how to use your intellect and spiritualize your day-to-day activities. How you can surrender the work and become less and less egoistic so that you attain liberation. So with that, he has continued. And now we are in the 61st shloka. We have completed second chapter. Up to shloka 16. Right. So now we come to shloka number 61. If you have the book with you, you can follow. So here he has spoken about up to 60th verse, as I discussed. That was the thing. Today very crucial, critical statements come again. So far he says you have to follow karma yoga, you have to surrender, you should not claim the results of your action, and try to be less involved in the worldly affairs. Worldly means not to become sannyasi and all. Do not get emotionally so much connected that you are not able to just disentangle. Don't get so much entangled. So that was a whole summary of all these shlokas. Now 61st shloka. So he's in the previous last shloka he says yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. Indriyani means today all the shlokas are going to be having this word Indriya. Indriya means sense organs. Sense organs means they are technical terms, but it refers to how we interact with the people, with the situation, with circumstances, how we get involved. I'm not talking only about the bad things, good things also, how we keep enjoying, watching a movie with eyes and ears, and having a nice food in a party or something, so that refers to the taste sensation. And then getting a physical relationship or feeling good, that relates to skin as a indriya, sense organ. And then smelling something nice, enjoying some nice fragrance. So all these refer to indriya. So basically our mind wants to engage in satisfying this. We either want to eat good food, listen to good words, listen to appreciation, not any insults or anything. We want to see things which keep us happy, like movies, or watching some beautiful things. So this is a general tendency of any human being, and this is the creation of the Lord himself. So he says, but there is a catch. If you get too much involved, it is meant for enjoyment. But if you think this is all it is in life, then you are wrong. Krishna says that is not where you are supposed to get stagnated. You should not become stagnant there. There's something beyond. Go beyond that. What is that? He says you divert all those indriyas inwards. Listen to, because when you start watching movie or talking to people, another thing of the tongue is talk to people, you may go wrong, you may speak bad words, or you may listen something bad, you may keep criticizing people. All these things will pull you downwards. But your effort should be to evolve, go beyond that. And secondly, you should not have any commitment towards only having sukha or avoiding dukkha. So dukkheshu anudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspruha. He says that is how you are supposed to be. You should not think dukkha should never come to me, I should never have suffering. It can never be like that, because you thinking in from your mind, your intelligence, you have committed so many things. You have to face your karma. So dukkha will come, and you are ignorant also. At the same time, because of so many good things, you will also have sukha. So that also you should not keep craving for sukha. Do not crave for happiness, and do not become so much disturbed by dukkha. Try to balance. So he has told that samatvam yoga muchyate. Have equal. So something some misery comes, going totally down. Some happiness comes to over excitement. That is not acceptable. So when you are in the spiritual, not only spiritual path, everybody must get into spiritual path. Now that you and I and Arjuna, we are all in that same path, we must understand this and try to bring that in our day-to-day activities. So the 60th shloka, he says, Yatato yapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini. So having known this, it's not so easy, because he says these indriyas, no, the sense organs, or these distractions for our eyes, ears, taste, everything, they are so strong. Unless you are very much guarded, even for a wise man, these can just snatch your mind. That means mind is above this sense organ. Mind is going, these are like horses that are pulling the charioteer in all directions. So mind will get carried away unless you have something beyond the mind which will pull the reins of these horses. Something like that they compare in Bhagavad Gita. So these sense organs, no, they tell allogana there's a party over there, there is a tomorrow again there's another meeting over there, I'm meeting, catching up with old friends, tomorrow another set of friends. All this, if you talk about all the, if you entertain all this, then the mind keeps on divulging in all this. So he says you should be cautious. Now we come to 61st verse. Tani sarvani संयम्य युक्त आसीत मत्परः वशे हि यस्येन्द्रियाणि tasya prajna pratisthita. So this shloka says the person who can control, sarvani sanyamya, sanyama means control. So a person who can control that means something is asking you to go to one place, but you say no, today I have decided this is my routine, I do not. You can control that desire, you can control that pull. That is called sanyama, control. So tani, all those distraction, sarvani is control, sarvani is all those, sanyamya is control. Yukta asita, yukta means in yoga, yoga means connected with me. So a person who can control all these organs, and then he is established in the in yoga. In yoga means in higher consciousness, connected to him. Matparaha. So matparaha means focused on me, he says, because we can do away with God and godly things, but in order to control all this, no, to control your mind, to keep it, mind cannot be just blank, or it cannot be hanging. It has to be this way or that way. If it is not engaged with a higher self or God or whatever you feel, which is totally blissful, then it will get carried away by the other things. It cannot be, it has to have an anchor. So Krishna says, put it on me. So a person who controls all his, who Sanyamya means rather than controlling, not entertaining all those distractions. We can put it like that. Not entertaining those distractions, ignoring them, overlooking them, and he is focused on me. His mind or his senses are, his wisdom is steady. That means Sthita Prajna. We have discussed this. All these shlokas are following Arjuna's one greatest question. He asks in the previous verses only, Krishna, you are talking about all this. What is Sthita Prajnata? Sthita Prajna means the steady consciousness, steady mind, or wisdom, which is intellect, which is established, which is very steady, which doesn't get deviated, which is established at a higher, it is divine only, divine consciousness, at the level of divine. If you find anybody in that platform, how does he behave? How does he act? How does he sit? How does he interact with the world? That was the question Krishna asks, and it is one of the very unique and a very special question in the entire Bhagavad Gita, because we are all supposed to attain that state. Liberation means this one. Liberation means we are not going to leave this body or become a thin air and then no. Living in this world, how do we keep ourselves totally unperturbed, still enjoying the life? That is what it is. But our intellect or consciousness is established at a higher level. So Krishna is answering. Properties of these people whose intellect and wisdom is established at a higher thing, Sthita Prajna. These are the characteristics. So all that I said, Dukheshu Anudvigna Manaha, Sukheshu Vikataspраha, Vita Raga Bhaya Krodhaha, Sthita Prajnas Tadochyate. Previously he has told, and I told you that no excitement, no depression, balanced state of mind, respond but don't overreact. So this is what he is trying to bring. In this he says, again he continues. So another property of such people is that they don't yield to these desires, having made their mind, whatever is conducive for his growth, he will entertain those distractions. Whatever comes on the way of his growth, he will discourage, he will not entertain. That means he has mastered the art of not yielding. His mind is under totally control. This is how a person whose mind, whose intellect is fixed in the divine consciousness behaves. That's what he says. So it's very common for us, isn't it? It's very difficult for us to ignore or something, unless we have a goal. Unless we have a goal, what is our goal now? All of us are attending this Bhagavad Gita classes, Bhagavad Purana, everything. We have a particular destination. Even if it is not liberation may be a very far-fetched end point. For us right now is to understand how we have to behave so that it is not to please others, it is to live and let live. So these are the steps in that. To live and let live. How can I be happy and make others happy, or how can I be happy without making others unhappy? This is the whole first step in Bhagavad Gita. So for that control, that awareness will come only when we start practicing this. This is the ultimate. The person who's Sthita Prajna has complete control. So that is, it comes as we practice. At least when we start observing our mind, it will lead us to somewhere, and you will start seeing those changes within yourself. Many times others also will start observing. Others also will change, because that has that much of an influence over the entire atmosphere around you, because these are not going waste. These are very powerful vibrations. If you take them with great strength, they have the capability of negating the negative vibrations also. So that is a power of Indriya Sanyama means control. Having said that, now next two shlokas, these are extremely useful because you can relate to them. ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषूपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. There are 8 steps described here to describe how do we get anger, how day in and day out we become angry for so many things, isn't it? Yes or no? Is there anybody in this group who has never been angry? Please unmute and express. Anybody who has never been angry? Or what is the frequency of your anger in a day? Shubha, we'll start with you. Frequency of getting angry. I'm not talking about it may be small or big. It's not blowing out, but it could be small. In a day, how many times? 0?
No, ma'am,
No.
not 0. I
Minimum?
probably blow out about
Once
less
is
than 5 times.
oh
Less
okay.
than 5 times.
Okay, Pancharatna. It need not be before others. Even in our mind, if we are angry, not able to bring it out, but internally we are angry, that also is considered as anger. Pancharatna, what is your
Yeah, I think less than 5 times.
minimum? Sometimes 0?
Yeah,
In a day.
it depends upon how many people I'm surrounded by. Like sometimes if the things do not go, then there's a possibility. But otherwise, okay, calm now.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Rohini? Peter? It's too early for them actually, those people there. Peter,
No,
in a day?
I'm angry less when I don't read the news so much. I know.
Pardon?
So if I don't read the newspaper, I'm less angry.
Less angry, okay. If you don't read newspaper makes you angry, okay. It triggers,
But,
I think. Yeah, I understand. It
Those
triggers.
little frustrations though do
Yes.
happen
Yes.
throughout the day, and I always know they are what leads to the anger.
Correct. Correct. So you have identified your trigger points. Yeah. Kavita?
Ma'am, half a dozen times.
Oh, God. I appreciate your honesty. Good. Half a dozen times. Oh, all of you keep the score, okay? Maybe next year we will get the score again. Huh? We will see how much we have controlled. Okay. Padmini?
More situations, more anger.
More situations, yeah. More activities, I understand. More activities, more interactions. It does happen. It is very common. That's why this whole book is about, because he knows that it's not very easy. Padmini, how many times in a day?
Maybe totally internally and externally, totally maybe 8 to 10 times.
In a day, very
we
honest.
may not express.
We
but
can't
inside.
express. Okay. Then who else is there? Suvarchala is there. Chaitali?
5 to 10 times.
5 to 10 times. Okay. So average, if I take entire this one, minimum 2 to 3 times we get angry per day, isn't it? So it's quite common. But what is the source of this, and should we control anger? So very beautifully he has explained why we should, how it starts, and what is the end point. He says, Dhyayato Vishayan Punsaha. First step, he says. I will tell you the meaning. Dhyayato Vishayan Vishaya means the sense objects. Sense objects means it's not that there's a movie, there's no. It could be a person, it could be a thing, it could be a situation, it could be some object. So any of these, okay. Now he is talking about the opposite. In the previous shloka he says, Tasya Prajna Pratishtita. This is a characteristic of person whose wisdom is in divinity. Very calm, he controls all that. Now he is talking about the opposite. A person, when he thinks and his thoughts are immersed in either a person or a thing or a situation or an object. What happens is, in due course, if he continues doing that, if his mind becomes conditioned, then he develops sanga. Sanga means a kind of attachment or a stickiness. Rather, I would say he becomes obsessed. More and more you think about a particular person, thing, or whatever, you like it. You are in a nice situation. A person is young boy, he is liking a girl of his class who he falls in love. He keeps thinking, I'm giving you a very basic example. So he keeps thinking about her. Then what happens? He develops an attachment. Whether she responds, she reciprocates, no, but he keeps thinking it. The love mentally it starts. Sanga, he develops sangasteshu upajayate. He develops attachment. Then after this, no, so now he becomes obsessed with what? With the expectation that he is going to get. Then this leads to the next generation of this is what? Kama. Kama is desire to possess. Desire to possess. It doesn't necessarily mean lust or physical attraction. It also means the desire, excessive desire. Again, intense obsession. So first he thinks and he starts imagining repeatedly if he's there. Obviously an ordinary person, he doesn't have anything else to think other than what is around him. So he keeps thinking, he becomes conditioned, he becomes attached. So the next step is he develops an intense desire to possess. And not only that, so he possesses, she smiles at him. I'm giving you a simple example, many more we can give. So he expects that she smiles. Once she smiles, he says, I need more, I need to go hang out with her. So that girl would have probably thought he's just extending his friendship. So he goes there and then he proposes, he tells her we'll go out for a coffee. Then they start into a relationship. While she thinks it's an ordinary relationship, he starts assuming that it's going to be a committed relationship. He wants more of her. He wants more time from her. He wants to go and hang out and have some physical relationship, let's say, which she doesn't allow. She says, no, I never thought of you like that. Or initially she would have told just I love you, but let's wait. No, we cannot wait. So his karma starts. Karma here becomes the desire, greed, and it has converted into lust. And now he wants to own her because that has gone into his ego. When she refuses, then kamat krodho bhi jayate. So he loses he says nothing doing. You have been coming out with me. You said yes to me. I am going to take you out. We have had nice dinners. Now why are you refusing? Let's go out to a resort. She says, no, nothing doing. I am not of that character. I would like to wait. I did not know you were. So it goes on. Then one day, krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha is delusion. He cannot see what is right, what is wrong. He is obsessed with that anger now. Krodha. Initially he was obsessed with that desire. Now he is obsessed with that anger. She is refusing me. How dare she refuses me? What does she think about me? These are all the things, and he cannot think anything. A matured person at that point of time would have thought it's okay. At least she has come to me. She has agreed. Let me wait so that I can be with her throughout my lifetime because this boy wants her. I am telling you a real scenario. I will come to what happened. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha is moha, which is a wheel. He cannot see anything clearly but to get what he wanted. He just want to possess that lady. And sammoha smruti vibhramaha. Because it's that delusion is there, there's a hazy, haziness. He cannot see with clarity. He cannot understand. His wisdom is totally overpowered by this ego, krodha, anger. So smruti vibhramaha. He forgets what all he has learned, in the sense the do's and don'ts. What are the normal do's? We have to live healthily in a society. We should not harm anybody. No way we can hurt anybody, mentally, physically also. Well, physically, day to day, do we see in a good society people going and banging at each other, fighting, maramari? We don't see that. That is a normal conditioning of this boy. He has learnt all that. He comes from a very respectable family. He knows that we should not hurt anybody, we should do everything. But this anger, smruti vibhramaha, that it has, his memory, smruti, gets deviated from. The deviated means he forgets whatever he has learned. This much is the power of that anger, or how it has developed. Smriti Bhramshat Buddhi Nashu. So that memory has gone, so his intellect or wisdom is totally gone. Buddhi Nashat Pranashyati, that destroys. Once your intellect has gone, it destroys. What does this boy do? She has refused. He tells again and again. She doesn't care. One day when she is doing her seminars in the college, she comes back and sits in the in the classroom, and this boy comes with a knife and he kills her in the broad daylight just because she refused. This is an incident which has happened in Hubli. I think you would have read in the news. As Peter said, when you read such news, your blood starts boiling really. Can't help. This is how it happened. This boy, inter-religion, interfaith, but they were in love. Only thing is, she stopped entertaining after some time due to reasons because they have to settle in their career. This fellow could not wait. And Smriti Vibhramaha so much so that not only he became obsessed with her, that he has to possess her, he also dropped down from his career, which was very, very going excellently. Just a little bit of excessive karma, excessive that I said, no, all these steps. He started thinking about her, dhyayato vishayan punsa, sangasteshu upajayata, attachment to her. Then came kama, that means desire to possess, obsession with that expectation. No way I am going to take a no from her. And from that came the anger when she refused. Lobha came, and mamakara, they say, mamata or mamakara. Kama, it has got two more siblings. It just proliferates into two siblings. What are those? Lobha and mamakara. And also matsara. Nobody should get. Maybe he had seen her going with somebody else, talking to somebody. All these things started boiling within him. And then with that delusion came sammoha, smriti vibhramaha, smriti vibhrama. He forgot. And he could not wait. He just couldn't take it. So he forgot that. And then his intellect gave away. Intellect is above the mind. Buddhi. Buddhi yoga we say there. It is above. Buddhi is the faculty of discrimination or decision making which will guide the mind. Mind is controlled by indriya, sense organs. And indriyas are controlled by the mind is controlled by the intellect. So this intellect we should try to put it in divine consciousness. That is called sthita prajna. So this has gone. Where is sthita prajnata? Gone, totally gone. So now he is in the jail. So what happened? A very brilliant fellow, because of small things. So you know the story of Panchatantra. There is a story of mongoose. All of you would have heard this story in your school days. That lady, there was a lady who has a small child, and she has a pet as a mongoose. This mongoose is very close to her and the baby. It moves around. It's very harmless. So one day she is doing her household chores, and she goes to she wants to go and get some water from the nearby river. So she takes the pot and she tells the mongoose to take care of the baby, and then she goes to the river. And by the time she comes back, the mongoose is sitting outside with blood stained mouth. This lady gets so wild. She thinks that the mongoose has killed my baby, and then it has tasted, and that's how the blood is here. This is what she interprets, and in one go she just thrashes the mongoose and kills him. After a while, she starts crying. After a while, she comes inside and sees her baby smiling peacefully, playing, and there is a dead snake. So then she understands that this mongoose was trying to protect my child, and he has killed that snake. So the mongoose has protected my child. He has done his duty so loyally, and I mistook. Why? Smriti Brahma. That Krodha, immediately Krodha came. She misinterpreted. Krodhat bhavati sammoha, that delusion, and whatever you think is right. When you become angry, you don't even know that whether you are doing right or wrong. Nothing. The mind doesn't give. This is a beautiful interplay in the mind. What happens? This is again Krishna's Maya or Krishna's creation only. So then she starts feeling guilty. What is the use? She has taken a life. So Krodha has to be controlled, and this is the source and this is the outcome. Many times we shout and we come back, and then we realize, did I shout like this? Did I use these words? Why did I do this? Oh my God. but you cannot go back. Whatever damage had to be done has already been done. You have damaged it, you cannot reverse it. Better to be careful. Now how to be careful? Because we start thinking about like this, dhyayato vishaya, from there it starts. What are these vishaya? Vishaya means, I told you, objects. That means it could be a person, it could be circumstances. I want this particular situation to be like this. This is what I have decided. I have made a framework. My house should be like this. My spouse should behave like this. My child should be. This is what we keep on thinking. That is the meaning of that. It's not only possessing a car or a bungalow, nothing like that. It could be, mostly it is because most of us are quite comfortable. We have the basic requirements. We are comfortable. What affects us is our expect. Beyond that, now we have everything. That's why I told you to write those whatever we have. We are not satisfied with that. We don't know what we have. We don't emphasize, or we don't think about what we already have, but we try to start expecting from what things which cannot be possible. Actually, sometimes it may be possible, but our mind thinks in so many ways. It's a trap. We don't understand that this is a trap. You get satisfied with something, you want something else. Your husband has to come early and spend some time with you. Yes, he comes. Tomorrow you'll say, why can't you take me outside? Third day will say, why can't you take me for a party? Fourth time, you forgot my birthday, you forgot my anniversary. Right? About spouse, about children, about relatives, about neighbors, about friends. We have so many expectations that, as I told you, one expectation will proliferate like a stem cell in body, or like a malignant cell. It will cancerous cell. It will start proliferating, penetrating, spreading everywhere, inside, outside, along. So this is the mechanics of desire. This is the origin of a desire. In the previous shloka also we said, Sarvan Partha Manogatan. So he says all the desires are from this mind. The same mind is going to take us there, divine consciousness, but the same mind can bring you down. So we must be aware. Am I expecting too much from this situation? Am I expecting too much from my organization? Is this organization not doing enough for me? All of us are in the same this one. Are my children not? They are talking with me. And as I told you, Chaitali, now you can break. Can you tell me 4 or 5 things which you felt are good in your life? You have made the list, I think. Because if we don't think, and if we are not grateful, if we don't express gratitude to the nature or to God who has given this to us, our mind goes on thinking about what we don't have. First, we have to be very thorough, and we should meditate upon what we have. Starting from, Chaitali, tell me, what did you think? If you could share some of the things which can be shared.
First thing is to be born as a human being, ma'am.
Very good.
Yes. Then being born to very good parents.
Very good.
In a
Excellent.
very good family.
Yes.
With all good relatives.
Yes.
And they could give me good education.
Fine. Stop. That's right. Perfect. Because we have, am I blocking? Because I'm recording this one. Yeah. So we have all these things for us, isn't it? Perfectly. First thing is human body. I told 8.4 million species we have crossed, and we have got this human body. So we must nourish that. And with this body, what can we do? Kabir Das, all of you have heard of Kabir Das, no? He says, what he says? Nayana diye hari darashana karane, hath diye kar danare. You have good hands. Why do you want to use for murdering, slapping, and all that? Do dana, hath, kanno. These I'm talking about indriyas only. How can we divert the indriyas towards better things? Hatha diye kar danare, shravana diye hari. Shravana diye hari is to listen about glories, something like that. And eyes are to see such God. Hatha diye kar danare. So he says use the same indriyas to divert, because human mind, human body is very, very difficult. And Bhagavadgita also says, if you don't utilize your sense organs, this body, and show gratitude towards that and utilize in the right way, then you may be born in lower species again. That's also there, dangerous. So you better do that. Better use it positively. Do not use your mouth to speak ill about others, keep criticizing. keep commenting. No, don't do that. Use it in a positive way. Use your eyes in a positive way. Use your ears for a positive. Listen to something good. As Peter was saying, when I open the newspaper, so it frustrates. So that obviously that is not going to do good. So like that, we have to divert. So like that, as you said, these are all the positive things. So like that, anybody else has done this exercise? If anybody else has done, you can share. Whoever was there last class. If not, we'll do it now in the next session. Okay, in the next week. So 5 she has told, and as you told Chaitali, you have several things to write, isn't it? Several things to mention. So like that, it is endless. It is endless. Can you read another 5 since others are not ready? Chaitali, can you mention the next 5?
I have not written, ma'am. I'm just thinking.
Yeah,
and
okay. So good education. You got good degree. You got good post graduation. You are in a
Yes.
good academic environment. You know, they say being in academics or any, even this also, this thing, it's called Brahaspati Yoga. Brahaspati is Guru. So we have done lot of, good karma to be in this kind of atmosphere. So that is also a very good thing. Like that, we can enumerate, and there are so many good things. So therefore, dhyayato vishayan, punsaha means man. Why should you think about the subject? Vishaya means, I told you, object or person or situation, whatever. But think of something which has done good to you, rather than thinking which is not there. You be there and condition your mind. Oh my God, how do correct? And think of your growth. Oh, I should have obtained, I should have got that degree, I should have got this one, I should have made so much. No, from where were we? Where did we start? Have we grown from there? More than enough, isn't it? Instead of comparing with others, let us compare from where were we and where we have reached. So that should be the thought process. If we think and condition our mind in that way, Krodha will come down. Our what I should say, Smriti Vibhrama, Vibuddhinasho, wrongdoings which come as a result of Krodha will come down, because many times mind is not under our control. That Krodha is very, very powerful. It gains a momentum and you don't know where you are heading to, only to realize later that you have lost a relationship. It happens. It happens. Sometimes you will be so angry and you speak such bad thing that you cannot reverse, and then you will feel guilty and you go and apologize. But the other person should be ready, no? He should also be reading Bhagavad Gita and ready. Why will he forgive you unless he is having that wisdom? He may or may not. So therefore, better to be very, very cautious. These are very important 2 shlokas. Alright, so this murder happened. One more thing, many examples we can give. So the kama, the desire, leads to more and more. I want more and more. That is lobha, and that greed. If one kama desire is fulfilled, I told you, no, that you will say, if the boy, the housewife also, homemaker, husband says, cook this delicious dish for me. Next day she has cooked very well, Papa. Next day he will say, why can't you prepare this also? Why can't you pack this for my lunch? My friends are asking, why can't you prepare that? And once he doesn't make it, he is angry because this lady has conditioned him. So that kama has resulted in lobha, and you are my wife, so you have to do it, or the other way around. So we keep listening to such things, or between mother and son, mother and daughter. So all these keep happening, and the source of that is our own conditioning, that I want the situation to be like this. So that is the meaning of this 62-63. Next one. रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवशैर्विधेयात्मा prasadamadigaccati. So ragadvesha means pleasantness, unpleasantness, or likes and dislike. What we like, what we don't like. So this person, if he can control this, he can control his senses. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischan. So this raga, the likes and dislike, which arises due to the interaction of these indriyas, isn't it? Due to involvement in the worldly affairs. likes and dislikes, if they are under control, if the indriyas are under control, then he will be able to control he will treat them likes and dislike with wisdom. Okay, I may like to have so many gulab jamuns, so many cakes because it's tasty, but I am a diabetic, so I should not. Similar to that, in the mentally also, situations which tend to take me downwards, I will try to avoid. Situations that tend to take me upwards, I will try to encourage those. So such a person who has such a control, atmavashaihi vidheyatma. So such a person who has complete control on his indriyas, so he becomes totally a self-controlled man and attains tranquility. Self indriya sayama or indriya control, it means self restraint. So basically, due to self restraint, we are able to control likes and dislike which mind is prompting you. You are at the higher level as an intellect, and mind says no, we'll go there, let's enjoy. Enjoyment is not wrong, but that kind of enjoyment may be wrong, that company may be wrong. So the intellect says no, let's not go there. This way he controls his distractions, or I should say the pull of these sense organs. And when a person controls like this, and he is in that atma, state of atma, then prasadham adhigacchati, he enjoys a joyful serenity, total calmness of mind, because there are two things. One is the mind has not entertained, the buddhi has not entertained the mind, so you feel good. When you have that willpower, this is what we call willpower, you feel good. My God, I have controlled myself, I have grown so much. That is one. And second thing is, those things did not happen, so you feel you are relieved from that trap. Both of them, and there is no distraction. These things will take you to a state of serenity. Prasadam adhigacchati. So he goes into a state of a mind which is totally tranquility, samadhana, peace of mind. So this is what he says. Then prasade sarva dukkhana hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishthate. What happens after this prasada? Such a person, what happens is, he attains such a state of tranquility that there was one Swamiji called Dayananda Saraswati Swamiji. Initially he was with Chinmaya Mission, and I must say the main person who inducted me into Bhagavad Gita is Swami Chinmayananda. Through Chinmaya Mission, Bal Vikas Kendra they were called. So Swami Dayananda Saraswati was his associate. In one of his books he writes, that book name also is Living with Freedom, I think. You can read that book. So there he says, a person who controls and he evolves, what happens is, somewhere there is a major disaster happening. Initially, what happened? This is how he emotes. After he attains such a state of mind, says, this has happened, so many things are destroyed. He is not indifferent, he attends to that, but he says, so what? It's fine, it had to happen. And he doesn't become totally depressed or totally excited. There is so much of serenity. He acts, but with a calm state of mind. So in this shloka, it says prasade, when you have that serene mind, sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. All the dukkha is what? Misery or suffering. Or actually, again and again we will emphasize this, suffering is when the things do not go in the way we want them to be. Whatever it is, you see, whatever it is, when we do not accept what is happening, then we become depressed, we become unhappy, because it may be right or wrong. You may feel that my daughter has to score very well. It's my wishful desire, and it's good because she has to, I am her mother, she has to see her career. But whatever it is, when she doesn't score, we become unhappy. But a person with serene mind, how he handles such situation? With a very cool minded, he doesn't become dukhi, doesn't become unhappy. As I said, he acts. He will try to understand what made her scoreless. He doesn't go, a little bit he does get affected, but he doesn't react and he doesn't sit, with a morose face and all that. Rather, he will look into the solutions and try to say, it's okay, maybe next time we shall do it, because having the thing is over. Now, what is the point in sitting and brooding? So, such a person is able to prasade, when he controls his sense organs, when he likes and dislikes, he controls. Such a person is able to handle sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate. Then prasanna chetaso yashu buddhi paryavatisthate. So when this leads to prasanna chetasa. Prasanna means happy again. Prasanna means tranquil minded. So it leads to more. In such a tranquil state of mind, he is able to establish his intellect in a perfect wisdom. Firmness means there is no deviation. It is fixed now, like sthita prajna only. So it is fixed now. It is stable. Because he has conditioned repeatedly, he keeps on telling. Whatever habits we do, that that if we practice for 21 days, then that becomes a habit, that becomes ingrained in your subconscious mind. Without your knowledge, you start practicing it. So such a person practices that self-restraint. Basically, none of us are born with these qualities. We have our own samskara, they call. Samskara is accumulation of all tendencies, not in this life. It is from so many births you have. Each individual has his own swabhava. Swabhava is nature based on his samskar. So, whatever we have no control. What we can possess now is in our control. Therefore, Swami Vivekananda says, man is the maker of his destiny. Man is the maker of his destiny. What is our destiny? What's going to happen in future? We see our horoscopes, with under what circumstances we are born, what stars were there. To some extent, this astrology will tell our tendencies, but it will stop there. It will not say what is your destiny. If you intervene, if you make yourself capable with all this Bhagavad Gita and listening and implementing, with that you are destined to be this one if you continue that tendency, but now you have changed. So if you change that tendency, you can become a different person. That is how you change your destiny. And therefore Krishna says, have self-restraint. It need not be, see, we are all not people who are party people, party animals or whatever, but we have our own expectations, not one, thousands of expectations. Next week exercise is, what are your expectations? Keep writing that. Let's see. And I will promise you, once you start writing or recollecting or observing, automatically your expectations will come down. You will be happy with whatever you have. Oh my God, this is what I am asking. I have already this much, one exercise you have done, and these are my expectations. That list goes on reducing, this list goes on increasing. That is how by Benjamin Franklin, he discovered lightning, isn't it? So when I was newly married, my mother-in-law, she was an excellent, highly educated lady, MSc in, she had done MSc in MA in economics, and very mathematics, BSc mathematics, MA in economics. She was very brilliant. If she lived, she would have been 90 years old now. When I was going through some turmoil, she gave me one book for self-improvement. That was Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin was a very shabby fellow. Read about him. I lost that book. I gave it to somebody, they didn't return. How his wife changes his behavior. So he was a totally shabby person, no goal in his life, and he keeps job hopping. One day somehow but he is very intelligent fellow and maybe a little handsome. He meets a girl who keeps observing him every day going on the street, and then she makes friends with him, and she falls in love with him when he is nobody, and she changes him, and then she tries to bring so many changes in his behavior and all that. One of them which Benjamin Franklin has written is, he makes a diary and he writes what are his strengths, what are his weaknesses, and exactly what I am telling now is what are the positive things that he has, what are his weaknesses which he has to overcome. And then initially that is very small, strengths are very less, weaknesses is a big list, and he keeps ticking that. Okay, if I get that book, certainly I will look for it rather. Let's see in Amazon. And then what happens initially, the weakness column goes very long and this is very short, but every day he starts maintaining that diary and that list becomes very small. This grows. So this I am not very sure, but I remember reading that his wife brings lot of changes, and this is how he improves as a personality. So when we write our expectations, no, then we will come to know how complicated we have made ourselves, our mind. Whatever comes, let's accept. Put our full effort, surrender to God, practice karma yoga, and that's it. The whole aim of life is to practice karma yoga. What are our outcomes in terms of worldly things? The scale is not always correct. The scale of getting 90% mark, the scale of reaching to the highest position in the institution, aim should be there in terms of growing, in terms of knowledge. But position and money, that should not be our major goal. That follows. If you practice karma yoga, everything follows, and then you will start giving less importance to that, more importance to how we have grown internally. So that is the whole essence of these shlokas. So he says, first get your tranquility. Get tranquility. What is your goal? To go towards divinity. What is the divinity? Perfections, and improve, getting over our weaknesses. Let's put that as our first goal. Let's overcome. For that we need to control our indriyas. I drink tea at least 5 cups in a day. That is also a wrong thing. No, it's not good for health also. And I have become obsessed. And if I don't have tea powder or milk or something, maybe I'll become angry. I did become angry for such a small thing. Why you have not brought? I told my maid, you have not prepared properly. Small silly things. So if I observe and control those small things, then you will feel very good. Oh my God, today I drank only 1 cup and still I am perfect. I am not disturbed. That itself will take us. So therefore, this controlling the restraint of these sense organs, reducing our expectations, gives us lot of tranquility. With that tranquility, our dukkha comes down. See, we are creating our sukha by ourselves, isn't it? How beautifully Krishna has put the entire responsibility on us. He says, you are the maker of your destiny, you are the maker of your own tranquility, do this. So this is what it is. Then I think we will take another shloka, because and then we can take it in the next session. Nasti buddhirayuktasya na chayuktasya bhavana na cha bhavayatah shantihi ashantasya kutah sukham. So in continuation, he says, Nasti buddhihi ayuktasya. In the previous shloka he said, Buddhi paryavatishthate. Now Buddhi goes in divine consciousness. That is nothing but Buddhi in yoga, wisdom in yoga, intellect in yoga. If this is not Nasti buddhi ayuktasya, if this Buddhi is not in this way, then what happens is he cannot be steady in meditation. If a person wants to sit and meditate, all of us will start eventually meditating. So he cannot meditate. When he cannot meditate, then there is no shanti, peace of mind. And if there is no peace of mind, where is sukha or happiness? Because Krishna says happiness is in tranquility. Happiness lies in peace of mind. How does that peace of mind come? When you put your buddhi or intellect or wisdom in that conscious, at that platform. How do you go there? Restraint, sense organs, no excitement, less expectations, accepting whatever is happening and going forward and surrendering. All these when you do, prasadam adhigacchati, mind becomes very tranquil. You will start thinking, why the hell I bothered all these years for such trivial matters, which actually don't matter at all. That is why I said Bhagavad-gita will change your perspective towards life. This is a beautiful direction, and this is the direction. This is not only beautiful, this is the way a human has to go, because you cannot question Krishna, because we are trusting him, isn't it? Krishna, we are trusting him. These are actual words of Krishna. And when you practice even one single step, swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayato mahato bhayat, one baby step you keep, and then see the big change. That is the assurance he gives. Ananyas chintayanto ma ye jana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. You follow this path of mine consistently. Nityabhiyuktanam. Every day consistency is the key, isn't it? I have to control my blood sugar. One day I will walk, second day I will do dieting, third day with medicines I am talking, nothing happened. When I put that protocol and did it continuously for 21 days, amazing results on fasting blood glucose, HbA1c, everything. Consistency is the key for everything. And when it is the key for such normal things, don't you think this requires a higher commitment? It does require. So we will all understand, we will implement, and we will take up such small exercises. So exercise for all of you is, let us, I really loved Benjamin Franklin's thing, what I should say, his method for self-improvement. So let us observe ourselves. Let us understand. That will be a secret book. Nobody will see that book. It's with you. See what we have now. Am I getting too much perturbed with some person around me, some lady around me, some man around me? So write that. Why am I scared? No, I should not be. I should not be scared. I should not have expectations. Why am I angry with her or with him? So like that we will write what we have today, and then we'll see. Second, before that, what are all the blessings we have? Grace of God. Grace, because that is your own karma. We have attained all that, because he says a person who has done good deeds will be born in such a family which is educated. So all of us are born in an educated family, or which has encouraged education, because otherwise we could not have come to such a session. Without basic this thing we cannot. It's not possible. Without or he says the person is born in a family which is inclined towards spirituality. Both he says, or he is born in a family which is wealthy. Further shlokas it's going to come. So we have all that blessing. Let's write down what are these blessings, and we will take this forward so that our evolution, let it go above, let it not come down to the lower species. As it is, we are. I am sure none of us are going down, or I see a bright future for all of us, you and I both. So with that, I conclude today's session. Thank you for patient listening.